He really does blend this kind of rare, unique qualities of leadership, of professionalism, of being down to earth. Whatever rank Hiram was on the police department, you would have never known it. You would have always thought that he was a blue shirt patrolman because he was so approachable and so easy to talk to. He really blends all those qualities together and to make really the ideal police officer.
From his military career in Vietnam to his law enforcement career with the Chicago Police Department, the head of the Illinois State Police, chief with the state's attorney's office, and now has made a transition into the corporate realm. And quite frankly, he brings credibility with him, he brings integrity, he brings honesty.
Went into Vietnam at 19 years old. It was a survival mode for 13 months that I was there. I was very fortunate to make it back home, but I did get a lot out of it. I grew up in Vietnam. You learn not to take things for granted when you're away from home. I would advise anyone that enters the military to accept the training. You survive on your training. You fall back on your training, and that's what we did in Vietnam. And we took that into, I did anyway, took that into law enforcement, because law enforcement, security are much like the military, very structured. You have to trust your training, and I took that with me into law enforcement.
With Hiram, I got to know his family very well, and that's the backbone for Hiram. His wife Karen, his daughter Lisa, his son Eric, his sister Carmen. That's the rock behind Hiram. Those are the folks that keep Hiram humble and in check.
It was his compassion he had for people. We had a 13-year-old girl, Kelly O'Loughlin, who was murdered. She had come home from school and a burglar was in her house. He killed her. And Hiram Grau was so affected by this case that he had our crime lab working 24 hours a day on a Sunday to develop a DNA profile, which we did. And I had never seen the crime lab work on a weekend before, but he was so passionate about this. But he stayed in touch with the family. He later sat at the trial with the family and saw this man be convicted. And Kelly O'Loughlin's family was so overwhelmed by Hiram Grau that Kelly's brother became an Illinois State Police trooper and is to this day.
Hiram had been promoted up through the ranks very quickly. He was recognized by the leadership in the department as somebody they wanted to tap into and push up the ranks. So he was a deputy superintendent, which puts him like number 3 overall in the department. And I got a call one day from his secretary saying, Deputy Superintendent Grau would like you to come to the office and meet with him. And I thought, well, I know Hiram, he's my friend. You still get a little bit of an uneasy feeling being called to the top boss's office. So I went in there and he said to me, and I was a young lieutenant working in patrol, he said to me, I'd like you to come on and work in the detective division and be a homicide lieutenant. And homicide lieutenant's a big deal. You have a lot of responsibility, it's very high profile. And I was kind of reluctant, and he tactfully twisted my arm into taking the position. And it turned out to be the best thing that I ever did. It raised my profile within the department. It gave me a lot of experience, and my career quickly shot up after I accepted that position. So had I not accepted it, had Hiram not tapped into me for it, my career would have been very different.
It's good to know Hiram Grau. To Blackhawks fans, Hiram Grau flew myself and Mark Maton to Springfield, where we met Rocky Wirtz in the Stanley Cup. So we escorted the cup to the Lincoln Museum, where the cup was on display. Standing next to the Stanley Cup was the keeper of the cup, a man who wears white gloves and is always within a few feet of the cup to protect it. Well, I'm proud to say that Mark Maton and I were keepers of the cup, the official keepers of the cup, for 2 minutes and 57 seconds while the real keeper took a leak. See, it pays to know Hiram Grau.
I really care for everyone that worked with me, and this is an opportunity for me to say thank you to everybody that I've ever worked with for making me look good and for getting me to where I've been.